Hello, my name is Margareta Blum, and I'm the Director of Planning and Development Services for Mountain View County, and will be one of your hosts. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the pre-recorded open house presentation to provide an update on the South McDougal Flats Area Structure Plan Review and ask for your input through a short survey. There will be opportunity for you to send us your questions if you cannot attend the in-person open house on Thursday, March the 30th at 6 p.m. at the Sundry Legion. We thank you in advance for your time to participate. Before we start the presentation, a few introductions. From Mountain View County's administration, joining us is Dolu Gonzalez.
Thank you, Margareta. I am Dolu Gonzalez, planner and assisting with the Area Structure Plan Review.
Also from administration is Susan Smith that provides technical assistance and support. It is my pleasure to introduce Kevin Saunders, a steering committee member that stepped in as the chair and vice chair were not available for the recording.
Thank you, Margareta. I'm Kevin Saunders, and it's a pleasure to be part of the committee. I will briefly introduce the steering committee members that will be in attendance at the open house. Members of the community are Greg Campkin, Chair, Cindy Iverson, Vice Chair, Robert Kalali, Public Member. Other appointees are Robin Tudor, President of the South McDougal Flats Protection Society, Richard Warnick, Mayor of the Town of Sundry. And councillors representatives are Councillor Greg Harris of Division 2, Reeve Angela Albers of Division 5.
To make best use of your time, please note the following. It is recommended that you listen to the pre-recording and/or attend the open house before completing the survey, as it will provide you with the context to answer why we are seeking your input. We ask that you only fill out a survey once. If you cannot attend the open house, contact information will be provided for any of the questions you may have. Without further delay, we will start the presentation, and Dolu will provide an overview of the ASP review process to date.
The committee was appointed by council and started the work in May last year. And so far, we have held 10 meetings. As the area structure plan was approved in 2010, the review of the document ensures that the policies align with the intended future land use, subdivision, and development potential and the municipal development plan. In addition, the committee reviewed information on zoning changes, subdivision, and developments in the area since 2010. The flood hazard information from the approved provincial study and the draft study were also reviewed by the committee. We also had many discussions on gravel pits and other industrial developments. Part of the process included the review of 7 goals, as well as policies for future land use areas that implement the goals.
Thank you, Dolu. Kevin, I'll turn to you. From the steering committee's perspective, please share how the survey will ask for input.
The survey will assist the steering committee with a policy review regarding land use concepts such as agriculture, residential, recreational, and industrial. The first part of the survey represents the 7 guiding principles for the area. The guiding principles are not in order of importance. However, the respondent is asked to rate the principles. These guiding principles are important as the information, the policies of the area structure plan.
Thank you, Kevin. Part 2 of the survey deals with the land use, concept policies, and map that indicates the potential for future zoning changes and subdivision potential. Before discussing the recommended changes, we first need to assure all landowners that a future land use concept map does not mean that your land use or zoning is changed or has changed as a result of the area structure plan. It does, however, identify the zoning and subdivision potential that could be supported by the area structure plan policies if you were to change the zoning, subdivide, or develop. Dolu, can you please introduce the first land use that the respondent is asked to provide feedback on?
Certainly. The first land use we need feedback on corresponds to lands identified as agricultural and low density, which support agricultural activity and propose to allow the potential for up to 4 titles per quarter section.
Thank you, Dolu. The next future land use is residential. This applies to quarter sections where existing residential subdivisions are on quarter sections or quarter sections that only have 1 or 2 subdivided lots. The survey information on residential includes some of the environmental constraints and examples of potential number of parcels, the sizes of those parcels, and the number of residents that may be added into the community. Depending on the responses, the policies will guide the potential for more subdivision. The next future land use is recreation.
Lands identified as recreation are intended to provide things like walking trails and campground developments. These areas are generally located close to existing natural features. In this case, close to the Red Deer River to the south and the Bearberry Creek to the north. We're asking your opinion on the types of recreational developments you would like to see in the community in addition to existing recreational uses in the area.
Thank you, Dolu. Regarding economic growth, the steering committee would like to have your feedback on extending the industrial and highway corridor along Highway 584 westwards for 1 mile to include quarter sections on either side of Range Road 60, south of Highway 584. That brings us to the end of questions on the future land use concept. Now we move to the topic of gravel pits. Gravel pits have operated in South McDougal Flats for many decades due to the availability of high-quality gravel in the area. Although the county requires operators to have zoning and development permit approvals with conditions to mitigate impacts through hours of operation, limitations on open pit areas, dust suppression, and buffering, to name a few, we want your suggestions on any additional measures that the county could consider when dealing with new or expanding gravel pits to minimize the impacts on South McDougal Flats. Kevin, can you please discuss the vision process?
Throughout the review process, the committee has had many discussions on the vision statement, as the existing area structure plan does not have one. A community vision can be described as an image of the desired future. The survey asks for your opinion on example visions or the opportunity to provide your own.
Thank you, Kevin. Now moving on to next steps. The survey is available on our website via SurveyMonkey until April 14. We ask that you only complete one survey. If you have questions, Dolu's contact details are available. Next steps, we will capture the questions that we receive via email and during the open house and provide a summary of those relevant questions and answers on our website on Monday, April 3rd. The steering committee will receive the results of the survey and continue the review process. Once a draft area structure plan is ready, the steering committee will engage the public again to provide feedback on the document. This brings us to the end of the pre-recorded presentation. Thank you again for taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you at the open house. Goodbye.